How's it going? My name is William, and this is my so-called life.
Get the most fun out of life, out of being a mother and wife, with new fashion excitement that's all created by you. On your new Touch and Sew
Sewing machine by Singer.
Touch and Sew.
Another first from Singer.
Be the girl with the golden touch on your new Singer Golden Touch and Sew machine. Dozens of exclusive features, like this new built-in needle threader for the golden slant needle and the push-button bobbin that winds right in the machine. What a wonderful new feeling. You can do all three kinds of sewing: straight, zigzag, and chain stitch.
Touch and Sew, the push-button bobbin way.
Come sew on one at your Singer Center. Choose from 5 Touch and Sew models from $149.95.
What's new for tomorrow?
Is at Singer today.
Touching Touchtronic memory machines.
Incredible.
I'm Polly Bergen. Only Singer makes machines this easy to use. Touch. The memory remembers your stitch pattern instantly. Touchtronic speed control remembers to adjust your fabric thickness.
What about basting?
Touch. Great. You can forget about your sewing machine and concentrate on sewing. The Touchtronic memory machine family. Come take a test touch.
100 million people sew easier with Singer.
You know what's funny is I love just skating around in the I absolutely just love skating in that room. That is some of the greatest moments I have as an adult. How's it going? My name is William, and this is my so-called life. And I'm like all over the place with tonight's vest. But with that being said, I have all kinds of amazing things planned. My mic stands in the way. I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to the House of Sewing. Yay. These commercials are like the Simpsons. They should have ended on a high note years ago, but for some reason, they just keep going. That is the motto of the evening. In the house of sewing, we do not stop. We just keep going. Rah, 99 today. We're going to file that under I'm not ready for summer yet. Not at all. Not at all. I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to the House of Sewing. Before we get to the fun and the festivities, first we have to get down to a little bit of business. This program is for entertainment purposes only, and its content is not intended to malign any religion, lack thereof, race, company, individual, or wigs. All opinions expressed by my so-called life and program participants are solely their personal views and do not reflect the views of every single human being on planet Earth. And if you're having a bad day, sometimes I need an orange like I'm playing soccer. Back in the day, they would give little kids oranges, and I feel better. Sometimes you might need an Activia, but regardless, we have access on both sides here in the House of Sewing. That's a izquierda and derecha. Today has been another crazy day, and left to my own devices, I 76 tomorrow, 74 on Friday, and it's gonna pour rain over the weekend. It's gonna be a sticky weekend. Do you know what's really funny? It's supposed to rain here tonight or tomorrow or something crazy, and the temperature was slowly dropping. We've had crazy weather around here. This is definitely not a stereotypical time of year around here at all. Not at all. Awesome. On your new touch and sew. See, it gets in your head. All right. So I don't know if anybody, you know what? I should put the pictures in my oh, what's going on here? Oh, of course. I'm the guy with the has it on pause. I'm gonna put some pictures in the in Twitter group real quick because I purchased something today. And it was really funny because I literally just went to Jiffy Lube for an oil change. But that's how all my sewing machine stories start. With I was minding my own business, walking around, and suddenly and this is actually a really good picture I took of it. I can't say what year this sewing machine is, but it's a Singer fashion. Oh, it's a Creative Touch fashion machine. For some reason, I thought it said something else. But anyways, it makes me laugh because it's either a year older or something around the age of the commercial. But let me get on Twitter real quick and get the picture. I was waiting for that, Skits. If you didn't come at me with the Michael Jordan quote, it wouldn't be me buying a sewing machine if you didn't guilt me for it. On your new touch and sew. All right, so I'm going to share this really quick. So there I was. I went to Jiffy Lube, and keep in mind, let's be real. If you go to my community page, I'm like, oh, I went to Jiffy Lube, and there just happened to be a Goodwill across the street. I knew there was a Goodwill there. I knew there was a Goodwill there. And do you know what's so funny? This is the Goodwill that never has sewing machines. It's rare. I've purchased sewing machines over the years at this particular place. It's the one right by my house. It's the strangest thing on earth because it used to be a Pep Boys. So it is this giant building. It is a giant building. They ripped down all the bays, everything. It is this open building. And it's rare that they have sewing machines, but today I finally purchased a sewing machine. Stop and get some help. Thank you. Welcome back, Alibaba. Singer is like an advertising agency. They come up with a billion different names for the exact same thing. That is so true because I have a Touchtronic in this room, and you can't tell me it's not the same machine. You can't. It's literally behind me. You should up a 20-minute sewing machine service shop. Call it Jiffy's. I do love saying Jiffy Lube, but guess how much the oil change was? Just guess. It's a sad sign of the times. And back in the day, an oil change was like $25, $30. And yes, I came straight from a cave to this live stream. Oh, keep going. Hold on, I think I I rolled the receipt around here. So oh, here it is. It was always a little bit closer. Oh, did they give me a break? Oh, did they give me a price break? Hold on, let me see what I finally paid. Hold on. It was I paid 101.26 for 5 quarts of oil in my in my Ford Flex. But anyways, all of that was washed over because I paid 12. Hold on, let me look. I paid $12.99. I was kind of mad that the oil change was that expensive, but I had already pulled up. I've already so I got really excited and I was like, I'm gonna go to the Goodwill, and there was a sewing machine there. Hello, Butterfly. Great to see you. Great to see you. Awesome. Yay. I hope you're either back from Florida or you're having a good time in Florida. I hope everything is well. Great to see you. Yay. Let's think. Nowadays, you're going to pay $50 for this stuff to do it yourself. Add on labor, bills, and rent, markup. Yeah, $100 sounds about right. You know what it is? It's normally most of my vehicles, I can change the oil by myself. Most of them, I'll change it right away. But hold on one second. All right, there we go. I don't think I'm ready for my goon vest yet. But it was just shocking that it was that expensive. So I laughed when I walked in and the sewing machine was $12. Yay. Hello. I'm back in God's country. Oh, do you know what's so funny? Because of where I live, all of that is so foreign to me. Like, oh man. Welcome back, Butterfly, though. Welcome back. I had a Pontiac once. I had to take it to a mechanic to change the oil because it sat so low to the ground. I couldn't find a jack tall enough to lift it high enough for me to get under it. Oh, I know that feeling. Do you know what's really funny? I had them at my house, but I took them to the shop and I'm kind of mad. I have ramps. I have metal ramps that you can drive up on, and they're old. They're so old. I remember playing with them when I was a kid, but they've been reinforced over time. Oh, hold on. Oh. Nothing but excitement here in the house of sewing and me running around as the proverbial chicken with the head cut off. Yes, I did. I got a machine for $12, but the downside was that I got an oil change at Jiffy Lube, which is like they sit in the same parking lot. And you know what's funny? This particular Goodwill never has sewing machines, so I scored today. Get some new ramps. Don't want you to be like Wile E. Coyote and get flattened like a pancake. You know what's really funny? I keep those around just for nostalgia's sake. It's the weirdest thing that there's like of everything that has survived over the years. These old ramps, they just remind me of old guys working on cars, smoking cigarettes and drinking beer. I grew up around people that were like King of the Hill. So that the Rams just remind me of the old school generation. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yay, it's been a while. You're so tall. Oh, when you used to do the hands thing, you would come from down here. Now you're from all up over here. Oh. So last night, I of course I went to Walmart and I got more oopsies. I was walking around and it dawned on me that yay, hello, Mona. Hello, hello. Great to see you. Great to see you. Now that I know it's Mona. Yay, hello, hello. I was walking around, I bought more oopsies, I bought some more thread, and I'm always looking for movies because I'm old school. I buy actual DVDs. I'm constantly looking for stuff to entertain me while I'm sewing. And as you can see behind me, I needed a long movie. So I purchased both Dune movies last night, and I'm not kidding you. From so if you wonder, if you hear me say, "Oh, I'm tired," it's because from hold on, hold on. I'm juggling like this. I'm a professional juggler at this point. Yay! So I bought Dune, not realizing that they were both 3-hour movies. So if you wonder, hey, my so-called life, is that a finished coat? It is, because I sat here and watched both movies and was sewing the entire time. I constantly talk about how I need things to entertain me, and like something as long as these movies were definitely something that I needed. When I was a kid, we didn't use any of those jacks things or ramps. Just jacked up the car and got right under it. I hope you set up the jack right so you didn't fall on you. That is so scary to me. That is so scary that you wouldn't have ramps like that. And I should put my glasses on. Yay! Hello, hello, everybody. Good to see everybody. So, does it at least have an intermission so you could step out for a smoke? Well, I was in here, so I was hanging out. I took a million breaks, and there were parts where I was watching the movie, and because it's action packed and it wasn't necessarily a draggy movie, um, I probably would have gotten my coat done faster if I wasn't watching the movie. But it was awesome because I was entertained while making this amazing coat. I went a little crazy with the collar. It's definitely 1970s. I can say my WKRP in Cincinnati watching has influenced my fashion lately, but a lot of the stuff I watch is from the 1970s and 80s, and they still had giant collars. Last night, after watching Dune, I was done making this. I I was like, I drank way too much coffee. I should sleep, and I did not. So I was doing a couple things online, and I was watching Space 1999, and it dawned on me. I dressed like I'm in Space 1999. They had all of their jackets were long collars with no buttons. That's my style. But yes, I made another beautiful tweed coat. Let me grab my my phone. Oh, and this collar is huge. This is like crown huge. This is Liberace huge. But I absolutely love the collar and the look. It looks like a 1970s Sherlock Holmes. Thank you. Oh, saw this today. The Arizona Attorney General is suing Amazon for antitrust and consumer fraud. Don't even get me started on Amazon. As somebody who obsessively orders from Amazon, Amazon is a mess. But I love how this came out. I go back and forth with how big I want the collar, but I'm starting to let loose and I'm letting the collar get longer and longer. I love how this looks. And it's like they're almost teardrop. And you can see from the back the collar is humongous. The collar is so wide you could land a Globemaster Globemaster jet on it. Funny enough, I have a Globemaster vest in here, and I knew somebody who used to work on the Globemasters. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mona. Thank you. And I made this while watching Dune last night. It's really ironic. And you know what's funny? A movie like that, like sometimes while you're sewing or you're doing a project like this, you'll lose your motivation. You're like, all right, I'll finish that tomorrow. I kept on screaming the House of Atreides so many times that I was like, I'm never going to finish this coat. So the movie got me all hyped up. So I finished this coat last night. So again, if you ask me, so if I appear to be more tired than usual, it's because I stayed up all night making this. Yay! Hello, Joy. Great to see you. I'm here too busy working, but I'll be listening as I work. Yay! Great to see you, Joy. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. You'll like this fun fact. Today in 1905, Las Vegas was founded. I'm hearing the call. I'm hearing the call to head east to Las Vegas. So I do love that fact. I love going to Mood in Miami, but dang, the prices were up there. I could fly to LA, hang out with the House of Sewing, and buy 1,000,000 yards of fabric and still have change left over. But I did buy one dress worth. It was that expensive, huh? Butterfly, that's crazy. Do you know what's really funny? One of the reasons I haven't stepped foot in Mood Fabric in Los Angeles is because of the fashion district, because I get these amazing prices, these crazy price breaks. And plus I've watched a bunch of shows where people walk in there and I'm like, those prices are insane. Yay. So now that everybody's here, I have a kind of a weird question. Is a stole just a fancy scarf? I fell down this rabbit hole last night of watching people make stoles, and I was like, this is just a ginormous fancy scarf. You can either look like my grandmother or you can make one that makes you look like Rasputin, but it's still a giant scarf. Yay, designer fabrics, beautiful, beautiful fabrics. That's awesome, Butterfly. I just remembered this too. A company is going to be buying a high-speed rail line from Rancho Cucamonga, California to Las Vegas. One-way trip, 2 hours. Alexa, how far is Rancho Cucamonga from Los Angeles?
From Los Angeles, Rancho Cucamonga is 41.4 miles away by car.
I can do that. That's doable. I saw a fire on the YouTube channel German in Venice that was in the fashion district. That was a couple months ago. You know what's really funny? When I was talking about buying a factory, when I was talking about doing all these crazy things, I actually looked into it, and there was quite a few humongous spaces that I was going to rent, and then the fire happened, and it reminded me how vulnerable I would be if I was in that area. And then there are fires over there all the time. Oh, especially in the fashion district. It's the weirdest thing. A stole is a bigger scarf, one that makes you look like a priest. My great grandma used to have a mink stole. Ew. Same, Mona. Thank you. My grandmother rocked a stole forever. And the funny thing is, out of everything that like came from her house, um, I had her old fur coats and they were like willed to people. It was a big deal. Nobody wanted them. I literally had to find these people to give them these coats. I was like, and you know, if you don't take care of them properly, they start smelling bad. So those coats are not. Ah, oh no, Alibaba, that's sad. It is. It's so sad. I really wanted to live in the fashion district. But now, retrospect, a year later, I'm really glad I didn't move down there. What's the over under that? Oh, that was an insurance fire. That's very true. And that's another thing. I don't want to get caught up in someone's insurance fraud. Really, it's really sad, but just like anything else, the Los Angeles fashion district is going under. It's no secret. It's not anything that's like held back. You could just go down there. Even when I started going down there, because I lived in LA in the in the 20s. Yikes. 20 years ago, I witnessed a thriving fashion district. There was literally 9 to 10 blocks of just endless shops. And it's still huge, but it's not anywhere near that, you know? So I guarantee you it probably was insurance fraud. I need a stole to go with my Maryland costume. A mink stole is such a bad bitch piece of fashion. Well, with that pile of clothing, I saw them picking through for good stuff. I can see why it's a fire hazard. The electrical wires go through into, yeah, and that's another thing. Downtown Los Angeles is a city built on top of a city. It's very much like Portland. They don't tear things down, they just build on top of them. And so you get these ancient electrics mixed with brand new electrics. It's crazy. Old facilities are death traps. In the past 10 years, there's been major advances in industrial safety. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's another reason why I'm glad I didn't move down there. You need the white gloves to match. Do you know what's really funny? It took me a long time to figure out. My grandmother had matching gloves for every single one of her stoles, every single one of her coats. It's the. I still have them. I still have them in my storage unit. And a bunch of really fancy high heels for someone whose foot is this big. Oh, so, man, I can't believe that finally got the real reason I didn't move to downtown out of me, huh? It's funny that you'd bring that up, Alibaba. After that fire, I was like, there's no way I could live down there. Because I would be scared all the time of my neighbors not knowing how to take care of a giant facility. Oh, that's perfect. That is perfect. And for anyone who's wondering, I made this coat using Mimi G pattern R11 407. And R11 407 and I are on a reunion tour at this point. Good times. Awesome. I have a whole bag of white and black gloves. You know what's really funny? That's one of the many things I want to get into is glove making. I've heard a million different opinions about it. Some people say that you should just trace your hand. I actually watched a video where somebody did a cardboard cutout. They traced their hand. They were perfect. I did the same thing. They couldn't even fit. And they're in the like island of forgotten projects somewhere. So there was something that I did that wasn't doing well. Excuse me. Oh, thank you, inappropriate balloons. But glove making is something that I want to do. There's so many different types of gloves to make. And that's the problem. I've heard so many different opinions. Oh man, I have. So as I set this sewing machine up, I want to paint a picture for you. My son's MMA class is in a really eclectic shopping center. There's two Mexican food restaurants. There's a massage parlor. There's a locksmith. There's a baker. It's actually a really thriving shopping center. And there's also a music store. In this particular music store, they have music lessons and everything. The owner is kind of a crazy guy. I don't want to like be too disparaging because people probably say that about me. But because I'm there all the time, they play the same song over and over. And so I come home singing zombie, zombie. I almost feel like asking them, like, do you guys know how to play anything else? I'll teach them how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb or something else. But they play that song so much, I go home just singing that song. Oh. The trace your hand thing only works if you have slender hands, and if you work on a ranch and with your hands, they probably won't work. That is true. My hands work out. And I have I'm spare parts, so my hands are huge. They're like, and just like my feet, like when it's the funniest thing when you buy shoes, anything after a size 12, they charge you more for. It's the big foot tax. You probably said Mary had a little. You probably said Mary had a little lamb, and now Andrew Dice Clay is stuck in my head. Fun fact. I'm of a certain age where I remember finding an Andrew Dice Clay tape and going to a place with a tape player so I could put headphones on and listening to it. I love Andrew Dice Clay. Oh man, I grew up in a house with records too, so I've heard not all, but like almost all of Robin Williams' early stand-up, Flip Wilson. Oh, I have a ton of Flip Wilson on vinyl, actually. Get your sexy sewing. I am blind without my glasses, but look at that. Look how rugged I am with this hat on, okay? And then look at that. Wah, wah, wah. I literally have like Jerry Lee Lewis or Urkel or like both wrapped into one. Oh, it is strange to actually see. Okay, so I don't need those while I'm up close though. Let me see if I can switch my camera angle and get a better angle of this sewing machine. And Alibaba, if you're still there, I would need your help. And this is very much 1960s or 70s, but this thing is solid. These machines, I'm not kidding you, this is like a good 50 pound. No, 45. I need to get a scale for this. Oh, I should plug it in first. But the funny thing is that oh man. Yes, I have 100 remotes. I paid $12.99 for this. So at the Goodwill, I plugged it in and it wasn't working. It was in a way, but it wasn't firing right. And I was like, you know what? For $12.99. For $12.99, I'm down for a challenge, $12.99, it's worth being an explorer and buying a machine that at the time I thought was broken. I brought this machine in this room. I walked it around. I introduced it to all the other sewing machines. And lo and behold, I need to turn it on. I'm not kidding you. I think it was just, oh, what? There we go. It has its detractors, but when I plugged this thing in, it was not working. Put the cowboy hat on with the glasses and you'll be able to be the space cowboy. That's the beauty of being live when crazy stuff like that happens. But this came with the cams and everything. So for $13, I completely scored. It's funny because I'm not kidding you. When I plugged this in at the Goodwill, it was misfiring. And all I did was bring it in this room and plug it in. I'm still kind of shocked that it's actually working right now. I'm going to thread it and see how it sews. Thank you. Thank you, Mona. Thank you. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. The funny thing is this is more valuable to me than a modern machine. And at the thrift stores, they'll charge you way more for a modern machine. Which reminds me, I have pictures of my adventure this weekend. I have something, whoops, wrong angle. I actually have something funny to show. Thank you. The cam should work in other similar machines too. That's what I was figuring. And also, do you know what's so funny? A while ago, wow, probably 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I made a video about why do self-winding bobbins exist. Every time I see a self-winding bobbin, I'm like, touch and sew. I think because I was introduced to sewing machines in the late 80s, from the 90s on. The only real old school machines I dealt with were my grandma's Bel Air, my father's 301A, and modern machines. Because I was a mall rat. I would go to Sears, I would look at all the new machines and everything. Self-winding bobbins had come and gone by the time. And there are industrials that have self-winding bobbins. I know they're not rare, but I laugh at one of the most over-ambitious ideas ever. Self-winding bobbins are the bane of the house of sewing, but I've learned to work with them. And now the funny thing is, I call myself the Touch and Sew Self-Preservation Society. But the truth is, I just know how to work these things because I've brought so many of these machines back to life. So I'm stoked that it actually works. How do you know that? Have you been buying modern machines without telling? No, I haven't. And remember, it's only a problem if you're hiding it. Is what I say to myself in the mirror every morning. All right, so I'm gonna, whoops. Let's see what's in the way. That's in the way. Okay. So I'm going to thread this, but I'm going to use my Dritz holder. It still has the thread spool on it. Correction. It had the thread spool until it met me. Okay. That was meant to come out, I hope. Let's see if it goes back in. Okay, it popped right back in. Now that's hilarious. Okay. Usually, and the funny thing is most of the time, this foam is actually 100% intact. Usually that's completely rotted out, and that's jet black. So this obviously sat inside somewhere. That's actually a good sign. That's why when I plugged this in here and it started right up, you can tell somebody either took care of this or this just sat somewhere untouched for years and years. JB Well. I may or may not be sitting in a room of JB Well. Luckily, those spools break so much. They do. That's why I jumped when it broke. Oh, man, I have to take my boots off. It's been a long day. But that's why I jumped when it broke off. But that one actually comes off and on. You can tell, as somebody who owns every 1960s and 70s sewing machine he can get his hands on. Over the years, they improved on certain things, and that is true. The thread spool breaks It literally, because it's just hard plastic and it hardens and hardens and it snaps off. This comes off. So that's actually a really good idea. On your new touch and sew. I think someone took care of it. That wouldn't work otherwise. They seize and break then. I agree. Even with the condition of, even with how it's firing right now, you can tell someone took care of this machine. All right, so there is thread in the bob. Do you know what's really funny? I think I'm gonna do a live stream where I wind every self-winding bobbin in this room, but it would take a second because I'd have to find every machine that I have quite a few machines, but even beside my touch and sew sewing machines, the Futuras, the Fashion Mates, anything from the I want to say 70s, they had self-winding bobbins. Still is one of the most overambitious sewing ideas I've ever come across. Perfect. Beautiful. Spool holder looks perfect. You know, these were like the definition of specialty machines because they're just like, they would go out of their way to add all these bells and whistles on these machines. Okay, let me bring that down. This has not one, not two, not three, but 4 tension guides on it. Oh no, he has enough machines to start a sweatshop. Now he's gonna start doing. Do you know what's so funny? I have to point this out. We are on year 4 or 5 here in the House of Soy. As far as me being on YouTube, I have it has to be over 5 years because I started around 2018, 2019, but I really didn't start. I would stream, but I really wouldn't post. But anyways, I'm surprised it took anyone this long to make that comment. And for the record, no. I'm far. I don't want that many people in my house or in my factory. If I had a factory, I would have a bunch of tables set up and a project on every single machine. Because that's how my mind works, and that's the kind of person I am. There's no way I would share. So no, I would never have a sweatshop. That means I would have to share my sewing machines. Well, that's how the Touchtronic system on it, I think. Yes, it does. Well, I don't know if it has the Touchtronic. Let's see if it makes the noise. I'm such a baby. I love my Touchtronic. That's why I'm so obsessed with that commercial, because the Touchtronic is everything the commercial says it is. For the record, this machine is probably like a solid 45 to 50 pounds. These things are no joke. I have enough to make a Victorian sweatshop. Exactly. There are quite a few people in here that could be accused of the same thing. Where do you keep the 7-year-old girls? Oh, are you kidding me? Like I said, I'm too selfish to share my sewing machine. On your new, I have that Touch and Sew commercial stuck in my head. I think we can replace this broken needle. Oh, I did that to myself. You know what's really funny? I just recently got organized, and now I have to think about where I put everything. But truly, I just hid everything from myself. Getting organized sometimes is funny. Oh, man. You know what? I did not think I would be going at it with this machine, but when in Rome. Let's go with the Schmetz Universal. Oh. We need to modify an easy button for you to make the touch electronic sound. Then you can get rid of all that fucking stuff. Oh. Is that the $12 machine? Yes, it is, Butterfly. I am so excited. This is a fully functioning sewing machine. This is a fully functioning sewing machine. I haven't even gone crazy with oil yet. And usually there's a bunch of troubleshooting stuff that I do. And like I said, the funny thing is when I plugged this in at my local Goodwill, it was kind of turning over, but it really wasn't turning over. And I broke my own rule. If you turn the wheel and the needle position isn't going up and down, do not buy the sewing machine because it's broken. And it wasn't doing that. And I broke my own rule, but really, I think it just was stuttering. Or there was too much power being pulled on the wall. I don't know. Because when I plugged it in here, it started right up. Nice for $12. Exactly. And for $12, I don't have like a moral dilemma. I'm not giving myself a hard time. My whole thing is I need to stop buying tables because I'm running out of room. And I don't know if I've told this story. A long time ago, when I was in high school, I dated this lovely, lovely, lovely person. Her name was Michelle. And Michelle had a sister, she had a mother, and she had a father. Her father ruled the house. He had old school cars. He had like vintage Lincolns. He had cars in storage places. But when you walked in their living room, their couches were 57 Chevy chairs. They had parts all in their living room. And I promised myself I would never do that to my son. So I try to keep all my hobbies out and either in the middle bedroom or in here. And that's the whole reason I have a storage unit. You say that like somebody who likes to buy machines where the needle doesn't go up and down. You know what? I reached a kind of I don't even know how to say it nicely. I had this moment of you have enough broken sewing machines. So my criteria has stepped up when I buy sewing machines. Because let's be real, I have enough broken sewing machines and things that I need to work on. The shipyards has a backlog. I have so many sewing machines I need to work on. So, needless to say, I asked the stole question because I'm going to make a giant Rasputin style stole. And it made me laugh when I was watching that video. Okay, let's see. Oh, we have contact. Oh, with a self-winding bobbin. All right. Let me switch my angle. Things you need to work on, like the paperwork to Lisa. Where I have a list. It's no secret. I have a 2001 Ford F-150 sitting in my house since the pandemic. The sun has bleached the side of my car. I need to get rid of it. I have all kinds of things that I have to do. The funny thing is when I rent that warehouse, the truck is going to be right in the middle. I'm in this weird fight with the California DMV because during the pandemic, I sent away for the tags and I wanted another pink slip. I paid for both and they did not send me either one. I was like, okay, it's during the pandemic. It's been 4 years. And I keep on showing them my receipt and they're like, oh, I'm going to send you to this person. Like, no one knows what to do with me. They just need to send me my stuff. Hey, even I have looked at 11,000 square foot hotel from 1885, 3 level. I would love something like that. I would love something like that. I was recently looking into a church, but the whole thing fell out because someone came in with more money. That's life. Someone, because the reason why I wanted the church though is because it had this ginormous parking lot, and I could hide everything in a giant parking lot. And I'm talking about like vehicles and random things that I own. And I watched this really, really amazing video about this group of young men that purchased a church, and they found this room up in the ceiling. It was awesome. You know, I get caught up in crazy YouTube videos like that. Call them on the phone and yell so loud they'll hear you hit DJ. I've actually, man, that's what got me put on a Karen video. All right. What is this sewing machine? It says Creative Touch Fashion Machine. Is it a Creative Touch? Let's look that up. To Google as I look for a phone. Because I called it a Fashion Mate, I think, but it's just because it reminds me of a Fashion Mate singer. Creative Touch 1030. Oh, look at that. It resells for $100 and up. That's a good sign. I won't get too lost. I'm just trying to. Sometimes you'll get lucky and it'll say what year it's from, but other times it's just people are not specific enough. Okay. I could get lost Googling that machine. I think it's the later Fashion Mate. That's what I thought, but they changed the name so much. But this is identical to I have a Fashion Mate that looks like this. As a matter of fact, no, that's the Touchtronic. Let's see if well, I'll mess around with the Touchtronic later. I have this plugged in. I might as well see if it works. $12. Well, it was $12.99. And the funny thing is, in California, we pay tax for everything. We have tax on everything. We have the CRV. If you buy drinks, they just assume that you're going to recycle the can. So they put taxes on the can that you buy. It's crazy. But at the Goodwill, they do not have taxes. It's from whatever year you want it to be from. Wow, it's definitely Monday. I was actually, my car went from, I'm actually glad that I procrastinated. My car went from, hey, I think you need an oil change. Then I got it in a week later. The car's like, hey, owner, you need an oil change. I got in the car yesterday and the car said, oil change needed immediately. So my car was passive aggressively telling me to get an oil change. All right. So let me switch the angle. I am sitting in a room of scrap fabric. I don't even have to ask where the scraps are. They're right here. Let me cut this down. I have this really crazy idea for a pair of patchwork pants, and I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to wrap one of my old work jeans completely in patches. But after making my patchwork jacket, it made me respect quilters so much it's not even funny. There's so much intricate work that goes into making a quilt. It was like, that's why every time I pull out my patchwork jacket, I truly look at that as an accomplishment. Punish the car and put olive oil on it. No, I've actually been taking care of that car to keep up with appearances with my neighbors. All right. I've been praising you. Let's Oh, look at that. Somebody took care of this machine. Oh, look at that. I should have put this inside out. Oh, that's perfect here. I'm going to switch angles. Oh, I'm going to switch angles. This is a perfect stitch. 1970s sewing machine rides again. Beautiful. I'm way more excited than I should be over sewing machine. But you know what? I absolutely love thrifting sewing machines. And because of my procrastination, I got a $12.99 sewing machine. And this thread under here is probably my age. Let's see. I can get in there, but it's the perfect stitch. You can kind of see it. That's perfect. And that's the back stitch, which is always a mess. I am so excited. This was a total score for $12.99. I'm excited. I am excited. Feed straight and true as well. Absolutely. Thank you, Butterfly. Thank you. Needed a victory here in the House of Sewing. I'm actually shocked at this thing. That's what I constantly talk about, like, oh, you can tell. I have a Singer Genie still to this day. Every time I turn it on, it smells of cigarettes. Yeah, at first I thought the motor was burning, and I smoked cigarettes forever, until I quit. But it makes me laugh. You can always tell who owned the machine before. You can always tell just by just certain things, especially with the tables. You can tell who the compulsive coffee drinkers were because there's coffee rings in all of, especially like the old 1950s Singer tables. I bet they all have good stories too. Are you really gonna be a pushover to a car? Show that car who's boss and put some muzzle. I need to get my buffer out. Oh, I said this the other day. I discovered when I washed my car the other day, which it's making me laugh because it's probably gonna rain, and it's every time I wash my car it rains. But anyways, somebody keyed my car. And it's been there for a while, but somebody keyed my car. I was standing in front of my son's class. The sun's going down later. And I was kind of enjoying my washed car. And I looked and I said, what? And you could see somebody did this as they were walking past my car. And it happened a while ago. You can just tell. Coffee rings are my calling card. That's how you know it's a good machine. That's how you know. Or it's been used, I'm really stopping myself from going to whatchamacall, to my favorite thrift store and buying that industrial. I guarantee you it's still there. I do not want to buy it. But the real reason I don't want to buy it is because the table and the motor. Oh man, I keep on trying to talk myself out of it. But this weekend I'm thinking about taking a trip east, not necessarily to Vegas, but I live in a weird place. If I just started heading east, I'm in the middle of the desert. And I've been talking about having a good adventure, so we'll see what happens. Or I might even take a day trip because there's all kinds of crazy thrift stores. And you know what? I'm not just going to let this sit here. I'm going to cut something out and sew with it. Let's make something. The other day, I brought up how one of my neighbors took a picture of me and put it on Neighbors. There's this guy's taking pictures in front of his house. And you know what? To my other neighbors' credits, they were like, let America ring. This guy's minding his own business. So to all my other neighbors, you guys are awesome. But fear and sewing in Las Vegas. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've been to Vegas, and I talk about it so much, but because before the pandemic, I would go every weekend or every other weekend. Even when I started going to Ventura all the time, I would still go to Vegas every other weekend. What did I do with that fabric? Okay. Oh. 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 Perfect. So I did this on purpose, but I'm gonna make a hoodie out of this, and I'm gonna stand in front of my house, and I guarantee someone's gonna take a picture of me and put it on the neighbor's app, and good for them. I'm at least gonna give the gawkers something to talk about. Where's my trusty pattern? Perfect. Is this the machine? Let me click over here. Oh, yes. Let's do that. Excuse me. Oh, I think it is Alibaba. Thank you. I think that is. I need that. All right, let me go back over here. HBO had HBO on location. If you went to Las Vegas, you could have SBO on location. They must have amazing Wi-Fi in Vegas, because right now you could type in Vegas live stream, and there are people live streaming from all over the place in Las Vegas. Did you fix your serger? It's sewing on it's no. It's sewing on 3 basically I took a needle out, and it's only sewing with 3 right now. So it's kind of working. I still have no idea what I did. And now it was starting to break needles, so I took the needle out, and it's magically working. It's right here behind me, demoted, just not even knowing what happened to itself. But I say this all the time. I used it as an industrial. I used it over and over and over. And, I probably used it. I probably literally put a lifetime's worth of work within like a 6 or 7 month period, because I sew every day. I sew a lot. He blew it up. He needs to buy an industrial. I do. I was actually having a talk with myself in the car today of like, well, you need to get an industrial soon. You should do it sooner than later. Mona agrees. I definitely do need an industrial. For my hoodie patterns, I always use Simplicity S9 158, and I am on a hunt for that print and the spray on beard that this guy has. No one's beard is ever that perfect. But I love this pattern, and it's been a while because I started using Mimi G pattern, and I fell in love with that vest pattern. So it's been a while. Seeing it out though. Maybe you fixed it. I've never used one. When they work, they're the most amazing machines on planet Earth. Sergers, like, honestly, having a serger upped my sewing game in an unreal way. You can just notice my productivity. If you look at the videos pre-serger, I was making like 1 or 2 projects a week With my serger, I was making 3 or 4 projects a week. So it definitely helps. It definitely it's a professional machine. I used to always say there's a difference between your clothes looking homemade and professional. The real answer is ironing, like pressing, but I used to say it was having a serger. You can get spray on beard from Sherman. I don't know if I would trust them to have a spray on beard, Gilroy. I've talked about it a million times. I will spare you guys the story about the Rogaine spray on fro. I wasted 45 minutes of my life to realize that it was just hair spray paint. Just wanted my fro back. That's all. And when I say hair spray paint, I mean literally it was like I'm sorry, plugs and hairspray paint. Oh. You know what? Let me see if I can come around on this side. I'll grab a phone and make sure I have all my utensils and everything I need. Oh, okay. Perfect. Normally I would get rid of the chair, but it's Monday. I might be sitting back down in that thing in like 10 minutes. That Serger 1030 is from 1970. Oh, that Singer 1030, 1979. Heck yeah, I love that's a great year. Great year. Was watching when you were working on that. Did you finish it? Oh, on that hat. Yes. Which hat? Are you talking about the orange hat? I did finish it. Oh. This is my tweed hat. This thing is so ridiculously tall. And you know, I love a good gaudy hat. This thing is so tall that I hit my lighting in here. Oh, I love this hat. I gotta remember I made this because I gotta put this in my Friday sews video. I keep on forgetting because there's a little bit of hand sewing I have to do on this. Because most machines would not be able to take this on a good day. I added layer after layer. This project is the definition of like, I need an industrial machine. But it all worked out because the hat was successful. I was off 5-6 years. Seen it back, wasn't sure if it was. I love the way it came out. And it fits my crazy style, and I have the whole top part of the tweed suit now. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Did I bring a pin cushion over? No, I did not. All right, let's switch this. Do you know what's really funny? Has anyone worked with Lycra? The people, I said this the other day, the people that I buy fabric from kept on asking me, they're like, do you work with Lycra? But whenever I think of Lycra, I think of like crazy suits or just like really bad runway designs. Perfect. Oh boy, gotta make sure there's a little give on here. Perfect. You ever made shoes? I'm learning how to make custom Nikes and Jordans. No, that is definitely something I want to get into. I'm looking for an excuse to get a cobbler machine. I think that's the perfect. Where do you know? The other day, I actually saw a video on. Okay, that's the back. It was on like how to make your own shoes, and I was like, you know what? I don't need that stress in my life right now. Okay, let me make sure that's even perfect. When I think of Lycra, I think of hardcore bicyclists with their stupid outfits. Do you know what's really funny? In my town, and we have MGen that runs through my town and everything. We have a really weird lingo where I live, but people still call them roadies. I heard someone say it the other day. I'm like, man, that term has not died yet. Laugh out loud. I was thinking of redoing the uppers and pairs of New Balance. I have quite a few pair of old cowboy boots I want to resole. My favorite pair of riding boots, I still have those things are beaten up, worn down. I still have them in the sad hope one day that I'm going to get my shoes resold. But I'm going to walk into a shop and be like, all right, here's 15 pairs. Because I always jokingly say that, like, boots are like hats. They don't fit properly until they're almost disintegrated, but it's kind of true. I've never had a pair of Nikes or Jordans. New Balance are the only tennis shoes that fit me. My parents were my dad was weirdly anti Nike, so I always had like the latest pair of skater shoes. But I think really what it was is that before these brands got popular, they were always $50 to $60 less than Nikes. So my dad would be like, "Oh, you can go crazy over here." So I really didn't have a pair of Nikes until I bought my own pair. And that's when I found out that my foot isn't necessarily made for people who wear Nikes because I have a size 13 wide foot. So my foot's humongous. And most Nikes are made for someone with a narrow foot. And if you hear that, that's not Ric Flair in my living room. That's my son working. Oh, that's hilarious. Have a great night, Mona. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much. I saw that you weren't going to live stream today. I hope to see you again soon. I'll be back on Saturday. Okay, that's perfect. You know what? I'm going to bust the serger out this evening to see how it's working. I'm definitely going to throw this into the serger because this is a faster project if I actually treat it as such. Perfect. Oh, man. I can already see some flaws with this fabric, but that's such is life. Perfect. Rick was the nature boy. Your wrestling tagline is gonna have to be sewing boy. No. If you ever look at my tags, I put the craziest tags on my video, trying to attract the widest audience that I could find. The widest, WID audience I could find. Like I tag certain things. I look up different languages. If your serger is supposed to use 4 threads like your car needs 4 wheels, would you drive only on 3 wheels? I agree with you. There's something going on with my serger. I don't know what happened. That thing, it was the greatest machine I've ever come across. I bought it brand new out of the box. I was nice to it. I took it on long walks on the beach, and then one day it threw a needle and never came back. Wait, don't answer that question exactly. I'm trying not to. I still can't get sewing entertainment out of my head. I tag sewing entertainment every single time. Vince McMahon invented wrestling entertainment. And honestly, I thought that was the most ingenious thing on earth. And he's like, this is wrestling entertainment. And it stuck with me throughout my entire life. So now I tag sewing entertainment on everything. If you type in sewing entertainment on YouTube, my videos will probably pop up. Yay! Hi, Mona. Hello, hello. I think of all crazy kind of tags because I want, I've met so many people being a YouTube sewist, it puts a smile on my face. Even on Instagram, I have met a ton of people from Norway who are into slow stitching and Francisco. And there's this one person that I've been following for over 6 years. He's a ex-professor. He moved to, I think, Norway, and he just sews on bib overalls. I kind of want that. Like, he lives that real hippie life. Like, he moved out in the middle of nowhere. But he got so well known in his area. He has art exhibits now, and people send him overalls from around the world. It's awesome. Yay! Don't like ice cream? You know what's really funny? I can't eat ice cream, and I'm obsessed with it. I still eat it, even though I'm not supposed to. Yay! Welcome back. How the hell did you actually meet sane people on Instagram? Are you sure it's Instagram? Sewing, the funny thing is, like, I wasn't there for anything nefarious. And so I started meeting people with real intentions. I actually met somebody that lived in Northern California that was really cool because it was more about sewing. And when I first was on Instagram, it was all about patches and slow stitching and sashiko. I have no idea why I call it Francisco or whatever the word I have invented. But I fell in love with that style. And in my true guilt-ridden way, I made a bunch of videos of, is this cultural appropriation? Is this, and in the end, if you like something and you're not being completely disrespectful about it, I don't think it's cultural appropriation. Yeah, but old iPad is on. Yes, but old iPad is on charger. I have over there. I have an iPad from 2012. That thing just looks at me like, why am I still on? And then over here, I have an iPad from like 2018, I believe, in the the battery does not last that long. Hey, Dose, how's it going? I'm still here. I'm still here. I just haven't been I haven't been going as long with my live streams lately because I reached a burnout point. But summer's coming. Really, if I do not get sleep, it makes me a grumpy sewist. But I think that's like with everybody. Oh man. I gotta take this hat off. I'm sweating in my eyes. That's the terrible thing about not having any hair. Well, besides my eyebrows. Oh. Oh man. I still can't believe that sewing machine works. Yeah, it's just for my solitaire game. Hey, Dose, how's it going? How's it going? I what is that? There was this one word game the other day. It let me know that I have been playing it for 4 years. It's just a crossword word puzzle. I've been playing that thing over and over. I've been playing it so long, I complained when they changed the music. Ugh, perfect. Does anybody play any games like that? Mona plays solitaire. I used to play solitaire with cards all the time. I've been working till 3 a.m. Central Time this week and bored as hell. I totally get that. I totally get that. Last night I was talking about in the beginning of the stream. Last night I made this coat. I bought both Dune movies, the new ones, because I really had not seen the movie. I did not realize that they were both 3-hour movies. Because I hadn't seen either one. I hadn't watched a review or anything. So it made me laugh. After the first movie, I was like, oh man, I'm almost done with the coat. So I watched both movies last night and did not sleep. And then I went to work. And you know what's really funny? Like when you pull, I didn't necessarily pull an all-nighter, but like when you get less sleep in your 20s, you can jump up and get up and go. I'm in my 40s. I woke up and I was like, oh, this is all regret. I woke up with just nothing but regret. Like, oh, why did I do that to myself? Word search. I'm addicted to the word search games. I don't play games now, but I don't play games now for about a year. A bit more. I love flight sims. They have to be accurate, like flight sims. You know what's really funny? I quit playing video games completely, and then during the pandemic, I busted out my Sega, which led to my Nintendo 64, which led to my Xbox. Like, I have all the old school games in here. And I still play 007 like it's 1996. I still have the original Windows XP Solitaire that I got off Windows XP computer years and years ago. It still works on Windows 10. That's crazy. I told you how I got yelled at for having a program that hadn't been around for 15 years. At my job, they were like, this is crazy. You need to get more modern. It just kept on uploading to my computer as the years went on. How am I to know that it was antiquated? Perfect. All right, the arms. Oh man, that is way uneven. Let me do the world famous hand press. Oh man, you know what? It's already hot in here. During this summer, I'm gonna have like 15 fans going on in here. I got this super dot 2 dot book that I've been working on. I got a wrestling card game on my phone, but I've been playing for 11 years. That's amazing. See, I love stuff like that. That's like Star Trek Online. There's people that have been playing I don't know, 10, 15 years. I almost got involved, but I was like, man, I have things to do. And there's this other game. It's called Eve Online. That game is addicting. Because it's basically you are your own spaceship. You know what's really funny? Another reason why I stay away from a long time ago, I dated this woman named Kim. And I met her in weird happenstance. But she told me, she's like, my ex-husband was obsessed with EverQuest. Is that what it's called? But he would obsessively just sit in front of the computer, and that was his life, And I always thought that was really sad because he got divorced because of a video game, and I know that's not rare. And this was years ago. So I try to have balance and do everything in moderation, including moderation. Says the guy. Says the guy who bought another sewing machine today. Perfect. Perfect. I know I'm gonna have to work on that tonight because my Friday sews. It's so funny. During the week, I'm always like, I'm not gonna have anything in my Friday sews video, and then like by the time Thursday comes around, I'm like, I'll have to cram all this stuff in my video. All those MMO games are just slot machines and fancy wrapper. They really are, though. No, they really are. Because I used to be a compulsive gambler. I even caught my mom. She was playing Cashman. Cashman. I one time I won $900 on a slot machine on a Cashman. Those are the exact same games. The ones that you're playing online are the exact same ones that they have at the casino. I like watching people play Grand Theft Auto online. I'm trying to think if there's anything like that that I watch. I told you I'm subscribed to a million cams around the world. If it's a bald eagle or a rhino or a weird watering hole in Africa. Perfect. Do you know what's really funny? I found a pack of blades, but these are Amazon blades. So we're going to see how long they last as I just went up against my thumb. We'll see how long I last. Perfect. Is there anything that you guys watch online? Like I watch curling. I'm subscribed to women's professional volleyball league. And if you're not subscribed to it, you should be. I think this is their inaugural year. I'm oh man, let me get my phone. I'm subscribed to all kinds of stuff. I didn't even know I liked curling. And now I'm subscribed to USA Curling and Curling Canada. That's softball. I love watching bears in Alaska catching salmon. You know what's really funny, Ollie? You got me hooked on that one. I can't remember what wildlife cam it was, but there's always something going on there. It is softcore dose. It is. I'm trying to think. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. And of course, I'm subscribed to everyone who sews. Everyone. I'm not kidding you. Like I'll watch 30 seconds of it and I can tell if I'm going to subscribe to this person or not. And 9 times out of the 10, I usually am. I love sewing content. All right. So I'm going to save the rest for the hood. Put this over here. Oh. I think it's time for a coffee and candy break. With the 99-cent store closing, in a weird way, it's really changed my habits because I didn't realize how much I went to the dollar store. And now I have to go to all these crazy places, and I had no idea how expensive candy was. I like watching the Eagle Cam. I think I'm subscribed to a few Eagle Cams. They should have prison camps to scare the shit out of these kids. Do you know what's really funny, Dose? I don't even think that would work. Kids, like, with people like that, it's so funny. Man. If like every day when I go downtown and I see like human devastation, that is motivation in the morning for me to get up and go to work. Oh, right. Let me clean up a little bit. I try to clean up in the middle of my projects because sewing is messy. And so I try to clean as I'm going. And I actually cook like that in a weird way. I cook and clean at the same time. It's the strangest thing. And I really didn't even know. It's a habit I've had for a while. But people often point out to me, they're like, man, the kitchen's clean while you're eating dinner. All right. Oh. Okay. Do you know what's really funny? My son has I bought him all these 25-pound weights, all of these weights. My house is nothing but tile. When he puts them down, it sounds like he's bowling in my hallway. It it sounds like there's a bowling alley in my house. Oh, right. And I actually agree with you, but I don't know. Like, I've watched Scared Straight, and like, I want to know the statistics of people who actually like if that actually works. It's 4.15 for a candy bar here at the local gas station. I don't know how much they are anymore. Whoa, okay, I won't complain. It's that much, but I buy bags. Like I buy these two are sad examples because I've been going off the past couple of days. But I buy like bags of candy. And I want to let everyone know I've been consuming this over time. I didn't eat these all in one sitting. At least that's what I'm saying on YouTube. They've done studies. Prison camps just lead to the kids thinking that they can make it in prison, and eventually they do something hideous and go to prison. Yikes. How big is the candy bar? Well, I get snack size lying to myself, thinking that it's not as bad. I Scare Straight leads to the same thing. It either doesn't work or leads to the kids going to prison. I agree with you. I had this conversation today with somebody. Like, I don't know where that line is because I was raised really rigid and it didn't necessarily work. So I don't know where that line is. Oh, definitely regular size. Let me grab my notes. There was all kinds of crazy stuff that went on today. Do you oh, let's see. You know, I'm really thinking about making patchwork pants, but so I was watching after I watched Dune, after I was trying to settle down because I drank so much coffee last night, I knew I wasn't going to bed. Um I buy full size. I can't eat them. I can't eat too many of the little ones, and that's my problem, Mona. I'm gonna sit here and pop like 6 or 7 of these. I had a really bad habit though. I was addicted to Mr. Good bars, and I would buy back in the day they would call them the king size or whatever. I was eating 2 to 3 of those a day. It's because I've always been a coffee drinker my entire life. So I love sweets with coffee. And like I went through this phase of eating like pan dulce. You'll gain weight eating bread with coffee. I would just eat sweet bread with coffee all the time. But I noticed a direct link between my sweet bread habit and a weight gain. If you raise a kid uber strict, they're just gonna go completely bonkers when they turn 18. It's like a spring. Eventually it's gonna let go. Oh, absolutely. And the more you suppress, the more that person is gonna act out. That there has to be studies about that as well. I definitely needed a Snickers. I definitely turned into that commercial where they were like, they're playing football and you see it's Betty White, and the guy's like, "You're playing football like Betty White." You know, my problem is too, I bought a bunch of Mr. Good bars and I forgot how much I love those things. And I bought a bunch of paydays. Something has happened, and it's more than any other habit that I have. My sweet tooth was just last October. I had a bunch of candy left over, and I have not stopped eating candy since. Send the bullets down after they jump. Oh, all right. That was a good break. Hey, Betty White lived in 99. Those football players tap out at like 80 because they use their heads as wrecking balls. No, there's a Snickers commercial. And Betty White, you see Betty White running through all these people, and you're like, what is this commercial? But they're making fun of Betty White. I think there's also a Liza Minnelli commercial like that too. Where the guy's like, "You're being a diva," and they're like, "No, I'm not." And it's like Liza Minnelli or someone. Those Snicker commercials were hilarious. We don't get all Mr. Good bars here. I had a Mr. Good bar addiction. They actually helped me quit smoking cigarettes. I was like, oh, I didn't know what to do. And like the pat, like I was allergic to the patch. So I started eating, I reverted and I started eating candy, but it worked. It helped me quit smoking cigarettes. I had a Mars bar. I haven't seen one in a while. Found it in a Euro Mart. Wow. Do you know that's crazy? Because like Skittles are now illegal in the state of California. And it had me thinking, like, I haven't seen Lifesavers in a long time. I haven't seen a lot of things, but you know, everything's illegal in the state of California. Now I want a Mars bar. It's just a Hershey's bar with peanuts mixed in it. Addicted. Addicted. I don't even know how you could have an allergic reaction to the patch. My my skin, like, you know, it's really funny. When I lived in Oregon, I looked up one day and I was like, there's nothing but fresh air here. I quit smoking for a full year when I lived in Oregon. And then I started smoking again. And then in my 30s, when I finally quit smoking, it was awful. I had a complete allergic reaction. What's wrong with Skittles? There is a very specific dye in it that the state of California made illegal. And I think it's illegal in other places too. But as somebody who is addicted to those purple Skittles, I don't know the name of whatever the purple ones were. I was hooked on those things and I can't find them anywhere. And it's so sad. Like, and this is why I'm mad the 99-cent store is going under, because the 99 was consistent with the candy they had. I went to Walmart and last week they had Twix and Reese's and all these things. I went back and they didn't have them. I still went crazy and bought other things, you know, but all dyes actually. That red dye used to make my son go berserk. I really wonder about that because I'm hooked on Powerade. I've been drinking Powerades for over 20 years or something crazy. If I looked back of how long I've been drinking Powerade, it's been a long time. They need they need to get ready. Oh, they need to get all food dyes out of the I agree. I agree. I agree. They need to get rid of all food dye and chemicals. I agree. Do you know what's really I grow a lot of food in my backyard. And because it's been raining, I'm gonna have a ton of food this year. if you look at my videos, if you ever like actually my Friday shows, I'm cleaning my fountain and everything, and I'm just proud because I got my fountain working again. If you look behind me and it's like this giant bush behind me, those are all my grapevines. I'm gonna have bushels this year. Bushels. It's me and the raccoons are gonna go off. We're gonna go off with grapes. Every time I go into Walmart, I get aggravated. I love windmill cookies. Hooked. Absolutely hooked on windmill cookies. Oh. See, now you guys, something happened last year where my sweet tooth went through the roof. And I will admit, this year I've gone crazy because I was more of a chip kind of guy or like, other things. But I've been really packing on the candy. Walmart is too damn big. I like Aldi better. It's store size, not airplane hangar size. That's what trips me out about the Walmart by my house. It is literally used to be a mega Pep Boys. It's huge. Oh, excuse me. You could legitimately play football in that thing. You could throw a football. And I mean, with a full angle and everything in that room. It's huge. Hey, Rashawn, how's it going? How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. Awesome. Our favorite bear. You have me going with that bear thing. You have me go. I'm sitting at home like, am I the bear or am I? Great to see you. Great to see you. I like Aldi too. They don't move stuff every other day. That is true. I started going to Aldi. I did. I started going to Aldi, and they have my cosmic brownies. So I'm there. As long as you have my weird cosmic brownies, I will shop at your store. And they're just brownies with little M&Ms in them. That's all they are. How's it going? How's it going? Good to see you. I'm not kidding. I'm a California bear. The one on the flag. Awesome. Awesome. All right, I guess. No, I'm enjoying sitting here. I'll pull my table out in a second. I'm definitely gonna use this sewing machine though tonight. I'm gonna test it out. See what it's made out of, even though I'm gonna pull my serger out in a second. Outs was shut down one night. Rednecks had a food fight in the produce. Oh, people do that here too. People do that here too. Do you know what, Mona? There was a kid. We were recently talking about it because he kind of got excommunicated from my town. He was trying to be famous, so he would go to all the local 7-Elevens and knock over all the racks for YouTube, and he got arrested. And every time he would do that, it would shut down the store because they had to redo the store, I remember being embarrassed to shop in Aldi's. You know what? My son is a lot of my motivation. One day he looked at me and he's like, "You are so bougie. We need to go to Aldi's." And I was like, I kind of am. Because I wouldn't go to Aldi's, but I would complain about how much money we spent on groceries. And I would complain and complain. And he's like, well, you should do something about it. So I started shopping around. You're a bear. I don't know. You swang that way. I wish I was that tall. I wish I was that tall. How's it going? How's it going? I've been going to Aldi most of my life. They just put one into my that was at Walmart. They just put one in my town within the past 3 years. Just put one in my town. But let's be real, my town's bougie, and we're now just starting to get hit with the economy because there's like actual stores that are just abandoned around here, and that was unheard of around here. And it's funny how I see more people at Aldi's nowadays. I'm learning furry. I'm leaning furry. I need to put my glasses on. I'm leaning furry. My eagle friend is staring at everybody over here. The kids will see you going in the house with a box full of groceries. I go off. I go off at Aldi. That's why I miss the dollar store. Our dollar store was a wannabe Aldi's, and they would sell stuff that wasn't necessarily a dollar, but it became like a neighborhood staple, and they had all that weird stuff that they wouldn't sell at the grocery store. Where I live, there are certain Mountain Dews that are outlawed. I'm not kidding you. There are certain things that in the state of California, they're like, they don't sell them here. $1 million personal pizza man called you bougie. I'm still not over that. I'm still not over that pizza thing. That little bastard who eats kale. He does. He did call me bougie because I refused to go to Aldi's. Mom wasn't paying for bags when boxes are free. Hey, there's a store that in California, it's called Smart and Final. And when they first started, you didn't get bags, you got boxes. I miss that. Man, they had this giant box bin. Do you know, I still go there, and just because they have carts now, I don't even like, well, they've always had carts, but I don't look. What happened with their box bin is that whenever somebody would move, they would just go up to the Smart and Final and grab all the boxes. Which I thought was ingenious because they were technically free boxes, you know. You know, it's funny. Yeah, he called me bougie, but you know, I go to the Walmart bins like I am the least bougiest person on earth. Oh. But he was trying to shame me because I refused to go in Aldi at first. I refused to go. Oh, all right. Let me get my table so I can do this the right way. Oh, man. All right. Do you know, I cleared my desk, so it's an actual functioning sewing table now. Well, at least the left side. They have come a long way. They have. No, they really have. And I kind of exposed myself because in a lot of ways, like, the funny thing is, I grew up on house brand. My parents were super upper middle class, but they grew up poor. And so I grew up eating house brand. I have no problem. Do you know what's really the first time I ever tasted Wheaties, I thought they were gross because I grew up eating bootleg Wheaties. I grew up eating malto meal, all of that stuff. I like how you pack your own groceries at Aldi too. No canned goods on the top, bread. Can actually put a decent amount in each bag and not have to have 10 billion bags of groceries. Oh, that's right. Do they charge you guys for bags where you live? Here, you get charged for bags. Aldi's kind of bougie now with the assorted cheese. I never thought I'd hear someone call Aldi bougie. You know, my mom is bougie, and I got her to go to Aldi, and the whole time she was walking around with the stink eye, but she went crazy. She went crazy at Aldi. I truly I kind of pride myself on that. I'm not a snob in any way. In any way. And so it makes me laugh. Oh, whoops. Aldi does, but they have always been like that. The rest of the stores don't. Yes, I take my own bag. Same. I've actually over the years I was so bad at this. I would have 40 to 50 bags in the back of my car, but I never brought them in the store. And now I actually have washable bags, the same bags that I take to the swap meet, I take shopping. So now it's just they're in my car, and it's a habit where I just carry them everywhere with me. Yes, bags and carts cost, but the quarter comes back. That's what a snob would say. You know, that's my rule. If you have to justify it, you're it. That is my rule. Yeah, certain stores in Illinois charge you for plastic bags. That's what I was asking because, like here, no matter what store you go to, if you get a bag, they charge you for it. Like even at self checkout the other day, I was at Walmart and I had quite a few stuff, so I got 4 bags, and they charged me for every single bag, which isn't a big deal. But because I remember before you got charged for a bag, I remember a different world. And now I have that song stuck in my head. And it's not even a bad thing. They're just trying to, like, here, they were trying to deter people from using bags, which I get. And I believe San Francisco was the first to do it. They've always been bougie in San Francisco. I'm kidding, Northern California. I'm kidding. They'll give you paper if you want it for free. I did not know that. In Canada, they got rid of single-use plastic bags to stop plastics in the environment and stopped reliance on plastic bags. All the reusable ones are made of plastic fiber. I've always wondered about that. Like every single one of my bags are like cloth or they're reusable. I almost want to start making a couple of my own because I take them with me to the swap meet. And I've been seeing some flaws, but then I don't want to walk around with a giant duffel bag. I want you to have a great night, Mona. Thank you for stopping by. Great to see you. I've been watching, I believe it's Gunter Makes. Have a great night, Mona. And a while ago, Gunter made this giant bag for shopping, for going and buying fabric, which is intelligent because when you buy fabric, if you're buying it off the roll, if you're buying it off the bolt, it's larger than you think it is. But no matter how fancy he made the bag, it was a giant duffel bag. It just reminded me, like, man, it just reminded me of joining the military, but it was huge and it was fancy because he made it. It was perfect. But my whole point is, like, I don't know. I like having several bags. It's weird. When I lived in LA, when I started doing my, when I lived in an apartment, I was confronted with going to laundromats. And so I had no problem getting a cart. In Spanish, they call them carretas. It's the ones you see old ladies pushing. I had no problem with that at all. Have a great night. Sometimes you want single-use plastic bags for meats and such too. Reusable ones can get gross with meats. That's why I use cloth bags, because they're washable. I think that's crazy in different states how they have different ways of going about things. I always forget about that because we're so... I just take for granted that everything is bad for you. Oh, man, I really ripped this one. I'm going to have to come through with the Scotch tape and save this. But it's not like I don't... You know what the funny thing is? I use these patterns, but I have cut shapes and blocks for these that I've already made. All right. Where is that pattern? Oh, we're still making good time. I've actually become partial to the cloth bags just because of what I've been doing and going to the swap meet and stuff. What did I do with that? Oh, I knew it was somewhere. And this guy is still cheesing. Do you make a master pattern of the ones you like? I do. And it depends on what it is. Like in a weird way, I don't know. Oh yeah, you can see it from here. I still have the blocks that I made for the Klingon flag, which is right here. Lefts and rights are weird on YouTube, but I still have all the pieces I made for that. There's certain things. I'm old school. I use cardboard so they last longer. Let me see if I have my vest dress form. That one is actually hilarious. This is for my huge vests. This looks like you took a picture at one of those things you put your head through at the county fair. But this is a template I made for my giant vest with the big giant pockets. And in a weird way, this is the exact size of the vest. And it never seems like it's that big until you put it on. You're like, wow, it really is that big. There's a whole school of thought behind that. Some people use patterns, some people make their own. There's all these motivational videos on YouTube of like, why haven't you made your own patterns? Are you a real sewist? That's the world's crappiest bulletproof. Yeah, and for free 99, you can make one on your own, Gilroy. This was my template. And I traced one of my ridiculously large vests, and I didn't realize how big it was until I put it on. An Amazon conquistador. Please tell me that you have seen the Australian box wars. A couple years back, when my son, I miss the little guy phase when they're attached to your hip. He used to watch this strangest thing in Australia. They would have box wars. They would collect boxes for months. They'd build castles, and everybody would make box outfits. We actually had a box war at my house too. It was fun. Looks like a hillbilly guillotine. Oh, you never know. It could be my hillbilly guillotine. Oh, that's hilarious. But I'm ready for Box Wars. I think I'm going to do Box Wars USA. That was so much fun. And it's just craziness and fun. Nothing too serious. Here, I'll bring the table over so we can still be involved. All right. I hope the serger plug is still under my feet. Perfect. I'm not going to go too long tonight because I'm trying to stop the big burnout. I've been getting really burnt out lately. And summer's coming, so I want to be ready and fresh for summer because I'm going to go crazy live streaming. But I lasted longer than last week. I only went for like an hour the other day, but today was a crazy day here in the House of Sewing. And I've noticed how I finish my projects faster when I'm not waffling. Even though, like I said last night, when I finished that coat took me both of the Dune movies. And spoiler, okay? I'm going to spoil the very end of the last movie, and it won't give away the movie. But I don't know who needs to hear this. If you leave your girlfriend riding a worm and you go out and fight some intergalactic war, you are the worm. I was so mad at the end of that movie. I was like, are you kidding me? I spent 6 hours for this. Fresh for summer. Is that a dingy shack? Oh, now I have Love Shack stuck in my head. Verbal diarrhea does have an effect on productivity. It does. And there's certain things that I miss out on because I'm trying to do 15 things at once. I really need to take that candy out of this room. The problem with candy is the temptation. It's just sitting here and I'm thinking about it. All right, those are pinned. But I was screaming at the TV when I saw the end of Dune. I couldn't believe it. But in all seriousness, I know I joke around a lot, but I really like the movie. I've read the books when I was a kid. My older brother was absolutely obsessed with Dune. I've seen the original movie 40, 50 times. I'm not even joking. I have it on VHS. So I was there for Dune. But because I'm not into modern day movie going, I didn't necessarily jump when it came out. And I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad that I waited where I could sit and chill in my own house and pause the movie. I got up and made a beautiful snack in the middle of the movie. I should have done that for The Hobbit. I ended up having to buy, not The Hobbit, the movie they came out, the latest movies, with Bilbo, because I missed this is back when I used to smoke a while ago. But with the first movie, I missed a good half an hour because I walked out about an hour and a half into the movie. Because I was like, I need a smoke break. This is a 3-hour movie. So it's better when you can sit at your house and watch the movie. Never watched it. Never read the book either. The books, it's a saga. It's a saga. And even in the 6 hours of the movie, they really didn't get into the details of the books. But let's be real, that's what every single person who ever reads a book says. Because books are intricate, they're detailed, they can go on and on and on, and they're descriptive, And in a movie, there's only so much that they can do, and then they have to move on because there's this thing called the plot. On your new touch and sew. But I liked it. I was impressed. And keep in mind, I'm easily impressed. I liked the new Matrix, and people lost it on that one, and I was okay with it. Are the cuts off or are they perfect? We're going to find out in a second. I'm going to have to stand up for this one. I have not seen the new Dune. I actually liked it. I like the modern visuals, but this has none of the feeling of the original. I watched the original when part 1 came out, and it's more engaging. 2 movies, and I don't care about the lead actor. Okay, I agree. I totally agree, but I'm biased towards the originals. The visuals were amazing. All the scenes, but I can't believe I'm going to say this live on YouTube. I need more Worm. And cowbell. I need more cowbell and Worm. And then at the end of the movie, spoiler again, when he left his girlfriend, and I kind of knew it was going to happen because in the book, it's a big, long saga, but bruh. I forgot that part was coming. So after 6 hours of sitting here sewing and watching the movie, I was like, I forgot about that. It was I liked it. But again, it's kind of like when I watched Noah with Russell Crowe. You know what's going to happen. Even if it's a new movie, new actors, you know what's going to happen. So it was anticlimactic. I think that's my biggest problem with remakes is that you're sitting there waiting for these moments because you know what's going to happen, especially if you've read the book. And I hate scorekeeping. I like watching something for the experience. I try to turn that part of my brain off. That's like, how much did it cost to blow up that bridge? Oh, I wonder how many actors they used in this scene. because I want to enjoy the story. The new version, the mom is more interesting in part 2. Aquaman was more interesting in part 1. I um I haven't seen either Aquaman movies, but I think I might. I might. I'm in this weird movie buying phase right now. Isn't Jonathan Majors in that movie? Is that his name? Let me get my phone. It costs 5 touching so's to blow it up, so pay up. Only if the world operated in touch and so's, I would rule the world. Excuse me, only if the world operated that way. All right. I gotta line this up. This is always that one part that I do not want to mess up. Oh, I can never remember his name. Lisa Bonet's husband. Are they still married? I had to laugh when I saw Jason Momoa in Dune. He always plays like the same kind of character, the dusty surfer guy. Like, and I'm not even saying this like he can't fight, but most people who constantly talk about how they can fight, they can't fight. Like Steven Seagal. And so I really wonder if Jason Momoa can do that or if he's just really good at choreography. And before you send me hate mail, I am obsessed with Stargate Atlantis. And the only reason I even bring up choreography is because they had this guy who was basically like the best martial artist in the world. He was also the guy on Top Chef. He did all the choreography for Stargate Atlantis. All the fight choreography. Because you missed Lord of the Rings. Hold on. Not going to remember Lisa Bonet's husband. Lord of the Rings. The original was the only part of it and a cartoon. I remember the cartoon. Movie better the second time. All the Liam Neeson movies are better the second time because you missed so many jokes. He stayed in Aquaman mode. Police Academy. Do you know what? I think it's because of my age. I've seen every Police Academy movie. But I laughed. I collect DVDs, and I had the opportunity to buy every Police Academy movie, and I did not. But I laughed because you never know until you're confronted with something. Police Academy the same way. That is crazy. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people that get typecast. Not everybody can be Samuel L. Jackson. I dare you to tell me a role that he hasn't been in. Samuel L. Jackson will play anything. And I'm trying to remember what movie that was I was watching, and there was a bunch of Vikings, and they pan over, and Samuel L. Jackson is on the boat with a jet white wig on. I can't remember what movie that was, but I was like, man, Samuel L. is in everything. Revenge of the Nerds was my shit. I absolutely loved that era, that entire era. But Revenge of the Nerds, what? I remember all of those movies. The funny thing is, most of those movies, they couldn't even make them nowadays. Oh, dude, am I off? How off am I? Oh, I'm just going to cut this. All right, now these sides are completely even. Perfect. Revenge of the Nerd. A Revenge of the Nerds made by Seth Rogen might be good. Oh, don't say that out loud, Dose. They're probably working on it right now. They're gonna put what's her face in it? Oh, who was the Little Mermaid that everybody fought over? Ouch. Is it Haley? Haley Bailey. They're gonna put someone you know in it. Oh, I bled on my shirt. I shouldn't have talked trash about the Little Mermaid. Let's see if the blood went through on the other side. Nope, we're gonna keep sewing. Funny thing, I have a bunch of band-aids in this room. Because that's not the first time. And of course, I have Johnson & Johnson R-Tone Band-Aids. Man, you know, I really got myself with that. That's the problem of sewing and waffling. Like, I was not paying attention and I stabbed myself. But it happens while sewing. And I learned a valuable lesson. Perfect. Perfect. All right, this is ready for the serger, and the arms are too. Let me plug everything in. My grandfather would say, put a little pee on it, it'll be okay. You know what's really funny? My dad was like that, but he would say whiskey. My father thought whiskey was the solution for everything. Got a toothache? Give me a pair of pliers and whiskey. Like, it's that old world way of thinking. Like, well, if it doesn't work, you won't feel it anyways. And that was a literal line. That was a line that the old timers used to say. Well, put some whiskey on. Okay. I constantly remind the old timers, by today's standards, they'd all be in prison. I need to organize this really quick because I'm a sewing machine mess under here. Okay, there we go. I try to keep the power cord of whatever machine I'm using at the time under my desk, but I have like 4 or 5 cords under. Oh, right. Perfect. All right. This is definitely a new setup, but because my serger isn't working, I completely dismantled serger station over there. I sacrificed it to bring my keyboard back because if the serger wasn't going to work, I knew my keyboard does at least. Oh, give me one quick second. The coffee's kicking in. Oh. Oh. Sorry, I got distracted, and also my son is cooking turkey legs in there. Alcohol burns the cells, so using it to cut takes longer to heal. I did not know that. Every spring, after uses a shovel in the garden, ammonia to the open blisters if it stings, but then hands would be would toughen up. I saw a Singer sewing machine for $40. Looks in good condition. Is that a good deal? I knew what I was gonna say. It depends on the machine. Are they good machines? It really depends on the year. If you get anything that's plastic, you're gonna eventually run into problems, but that's like modern sewing machine problems. When you get a sewing machine, what you want to do when you get to a thrift store, this is a serger, but I could kind of illustrate. You just want to make sure you can turn it over. Oh, the knob's down here. you fumble around with it. Like any machine, a sewing machine is precision. So if you're turning it and the needle's not moving, then you shouldn't buy it. I'm going to make another video about that. You should also, you can Google, like go on your phone and look up the machine and you'll see people's real opinion about it. I'm one of those people who I'm like, oh, this is the best machine ever. I'm like, don't buy that. is real good. So it just depends on, you got to do your research and look up every single sewing machine is different. It's the condition, the age. I completely scored with this for $12.99 because it was obviously in a place where it was untouched for years and years, where it sat there. No one messed with it. Precision machine, and you just let them all sit. You don't know, Gilroy. Maybe it's like Fight Club, and I really do have a factory going on. I just don't know it because I don't sleep at night. Sometimes the hand wheel will turn, but it could be disintegrated to wind the bobbin. That drives me crazy when the plastic is so destroyed that you can hear it though. When you turn on the machine, you can just hear that ring because it's not going anywhere. Just ask Ollie. He knows everything he does. Ollie is our resident librarian. And when I say librarian, I think that you go out and fight sewing adventures after all these streams. Any older machines? I'm biased towards those old black Singers, but there's a reason why. If you get one that works, it's one of the most dependable machines you'll ever have. It's like in life, it's situational. You should build a shelf to show all your machines during your podcast. I had that idea, but I have I had that idea. I have to put stuff in here. Have a great night, Rashawn. Thank you for stopping by. Great to see you. Great to see you. Now my new thing is I am the bear. I'm telling you, you got me going with that bear thing. I mean, the manual disintegrate. Oh, the manual disengaged for winding the bobbin, not broken. That is true. Have a great night. Rashawn. He needs a library worth of shelves to display them all. I was thinking about that the other day. Another reason why I have them so low is because back behind those flags, I have shelves that are almost up to the ceiling. They have sewing machines on them. And one day I have a chair in between both of them. And one day I was sitting there and I was like, I wonder what would happen to me if there was an earthquake right now. They wouldn't find me on Friday when my kid gets picked up. I have no human contact until Sunday, until my live stream. It'd be days until they found me under all the sewing machines. So I try to keep my sewing machines low because I don't want to be sitting in here during the earthquake. Because I have a Kenmore. I can't get to it right now. It is a solid 60-pound sewing machine. If that thing came flying off the counter, it would break my shoulder. That thing would legitimately break my shoulder if it fell off the counter. Imagine the shelves and a 6-point out. Thank you. That would be and you know what? Unfortunately, I have to think about that. Like lately, I've been buying. I noticed because I have Mr. Gym Rat over here now. My water supply has been depleted, so now every time I pass the supply store, I buy a giant thing of water. Perfect. But I actually I built shelves at my job, Dose, and they're behind the flags. I go back and forth where I wanted to display them, and then the space was so limited, I would spend more time trying to figure out where to put the machines. When will you go into a place you love to be? Well, you will go into a place you love to be. I'm gonna go out like Dale Earnhardt, dying what I love to do, or what? I thought about that all the time. Like that would be the absolute worst. If it conks you on the head, it'd be lights out for you, especially the Kenmore. And because of that fact, I moved the Kenmore from the top shelf to the bottom shelf. I was like, oh no, not today, Kenmore. They'll find your head pounded and flushed to the ground. I'm telling you. Especially that's why, like, above my head, I'm even scared of above my head, I have 8 55-gallon bags filled of scrap. 8 huge bags. I'm telling you, if there's ever an earthquake, we're all going to go viral together because you're going to see me run out of this room. I'm going to run out of this room. Better than on a public toilet. Oh, I have a story about that. A terrible story. An earthquake and a porta potty is insane. All right, Sergio, you're doing all right. This thing is 90% more readily on the table. You see, and that's the funny thing, because this was on an industrial table, you never heard a knock because the table weighs 300 pounds. So the serger isn't going to shake the table. But that's with one needle on my serger. Well, one top needle. It still does a decent job. It's just nowhere near the quality of when it would use 4 at once. And last time when it threw a needle right in front of my face, I was over it. Because that's another injury that I would laugh if I got a broken needle in my eye. For as many times people have told me to, someone told me I should wear safety glasses when I sew, and I laughed. And then a needle flew past my eyeball. An earthquake in a Ollie is right. Are you driving the car with 3 wheels? I am. 3-wheel motion. 3-wheel motion right now. Oh, did I completely miss? I might have to go back underneath. Oh, I did miss on that one. That's okay. That is easily fixed. Now I just have slow motion stuck in my head. Perfect. Wrong pedal. Perfect. Next, we will see sparks flying. This is okay. It's not like a high-speed chase. I took the needle out. Whenever I think of sparks flying, I think of somebody in a high-speed chase. Dude, you're making 3 turkey legs, huh? Like I seen on the KTLA chapter cam on the KTLA. I absolutely love that channel. That is one of the last locally owned. Well, they're not locally owned; they're just privately owned. They're not owned by any of the big corporations, and their building has been off of Sunset for as long as I can remember. And I think they're the oldest independent channel in LA. I could be wrong. Well, that's what they claim. But oh, excuse me. They can see that because they're the only one that's still around. Everything else has gone the way of the dinosaur. All right. Perfect. It's so strange to me to have room on this table, but I've really been trying to clean in here. And even though I demoted my serger, I'm trying to give it room so I could use it on this table. Like I've seen. Oh, okay. The chopper guy is hilarious because when you watch the cam, a lot of it is not what they're talking about. Like he'll say all the things, like he's talking, and then all of a sudden you can hear him. Oh, we're live on channel blah 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 blah. Sewing machine should play the Benny Hill music when you use him. I would buy that. And Dose, once again, you just invented something. Patent pending, patent pending. Oh, Dose, you just invented something. So I watch a lot of UK television because I do not sleep at night. And I love it when they're, because there's 10 Downing Street and they're all kind of congregated in the same place. Somebody will come with a mega speaker and they'll play the Benny Hill song. So the news anchors will be talking, and then all of a sudden the Benny Hill song comes on, and it's the banana na 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 na. It's like 2 a.m, and I laugh every time I hear that. Every time. He'd sew too fast if they did that. Well, I need doors. If we played the Benny Hill theme song, I need doors to go in and out of. Someone has to come through in a suit. Good times. Good times. Oh, okay, good. That had a lid on it. That sounded a lot worse than what it was. Good old blue Powerade. All right. You know what's really funny? My parents were extremely strict, so I wasn't a soda drinker, but they let me drink Powerade, and I was hooked on that stuff. So here it is. Yikes. 30-something years later, and I still drink it. Perfect. That and brisk iced tea. I was hooked on those things. I'm gonna use it if somebody starts fighting. If I'm DJing a club at a party, that would be the greatest thing ever. I'd watch that. I'm telling you, when they play that in the UK, it makes me laugh. That thing really shut off. It was mad at me. That's such a good idea, Dose. And we have to never let that song die. That is one of those songs that should live on forever. That song literally explains shenanigans. If shenanigans was in a song, it would be that song. Now I have the Benny Hill song stuck in my head. Nothing beats a fresh horchata. Oh, you would love LA. This is the horchata capital of America. Or you could play some old-timey Western saloon piano music. Okay. So my grandfather had a saying. He's like, if you acted indifferent, he would always say, don't be the piano player. And you look at him and be like, what are you talking about? And he would always say, when the cops would bust a whorehouse back in the old timey days, they would bust everybody, and then the piano guy would be there, and he'd be like, "Hey man, I don't know what goes on upstairs. I just play the piano." So whenever I think of old timey piano, I think of that terrible joke. Hey man, I don't know what goes on upstairs. I just play the piano. And now I have old timey piano in my head. You know, I'm looking for a fifth hobby, and I was thinking about taking piano lessons because I have this keyboard here, and I know like a lot of funky combinations. I know like every Roger Troutman song, only like the piano parts, but you know, I want to legitimately learn how to play the piano. So I think I might take on a fifth hobby. I have to check my schedule though to see if I have time for another life skill. That music doesn't stop no matter what happens. I love that. I love that. Hey man, I don't know what goes on upstairs. I just sew on this sewing machine. That's a t-shirt, Kilroy. Now that's a t-shirt. I love that. Oh, Titanic. To tell the Steve Harvey joke, if that was Earth, Wind, and Fire, they would have unplugged those machines. Get on the boat, man. I always thought that was crazy. Even when I watched the movie, I was like, you're playing as the ship's going down? I don't need music as people's lives are being changed forever. No, thank you. No, thank you. I ironically still have old-timey piano in my head now. All right. Oh man, we've been going for a while. That's okay. That's all right. House of Atreides. Last night I got so hyped up watching Dune. It was so hilarious. The fight scenes and everything were good, but again, like I said, I think it's because I knew it was gonna happen. It was a good movie. But it's something that I like. If it was something that I didn't like, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be paying attention to it. I wonder. I know somebody who has a real life Nickelodeon, or they're going to inherit one. And if you're listening, I have a space for it. But they got me. I walked into a house and my ex-wife's little brother looked like he was playing the piano, and I was like, where did you learn this life skill? It was a real life Nickelodeon. I'd never seen one before. I didn't even know they really existed. I didn't even know the meaning of the word. But now I have to ask her. I'm going to have to call her and ask her if that thing is still around. But it was like one of the only ones I've ever seen, too. But because of its age, it played all of those old-timey Western songs, A Nickelodeon is a player piano. It basically plays by itself. But I really didn't know what a Nickelodeon was, and it was a real life self-playing piano. And it would play like all the old timey songs, like all the ones you've heard in the movies. And it's so funny. And it's not just, and I'm not saying this just because of I'm only saying this because of where I live, but it's crazy how you find the weirdest memorabilia in California. And I know it wasn't in California, but like there's this thing on Twitter where they opened up this garage and it was that thing from the never ending story, you know, it'd been sitting in a garage somewhere for 30 years or something crazy. You know what? Let me switch my angle again. I'll clean up in here a little bit before I start sewing. Oh, excuse me. And I have to move my serger. I had one, but didn't have the mechanism anymore. Oh, Granddad ripped that out. It would play by itself late at night, shorting out. Oh, that's awesome. I grew up in a house with cuckoo clocks and grandfather clocks that would chime. It took me years to be able to fall asleep in silence. It's one of those weird things. Like when you grow up around certain things, you just get used to it. But in my house as a kid, and it was a small one, but it was the loudest clock. It would chime for every, you know, if it was 3, it would chime 3 times. I loved that clock. All right. Let me put my Band-Aids away as I'm cleaning up the junk aisle in here. I can't sleep with the fan and the TV on. Same. I am the exact same. Or I'll put something extremely just mind numbing on YouTube. That's why I'm subscribed to all the orcas, all those national parks. But there are certain things I fall into this trap where I'm watching something, but I'm not falling asleep because it's actually interesting to me. The orcas put me out though, like those underwater cams. The ocean puts me out. All right, I kind of want to save this. Perfect. I'm trying to think. I felt feral for the longest time because I had to have the window open. It was a ritual to sleep. But most of the time, do you think we do that to distract ourselves, like to trick ourselves to go to sleep? All right, I'm gonna put this away. And the creative touch, or whatever it's called, is gonna get its test this evening. Perfect. Just had to clean up a little bit. I don't like sewing in a giant mess. Yeah, I'm weird. Right, I still have to attach the arms too. Perfect. The one thing though I like about this dress form that I'm about to pull out is that it's light, so I can move it around the room. That coat is amazing. You know what? I love that 1970s style. All right. Let me take some of these pens out. No comment. No comment on what, Joy? I'm a non-sleeper, so. On your new touching. So I'm curious now. I can't believe I bled on this shirt. There literally will truly be blood, sweat, and tears on this shirt. Perfect. Make sure all the pins are out. That can be fixed later. Perfect. Oh, I like the length on that. I can already tell the length is perfect. I like a good long shirt because I have an odd torso. So I try to make my shirts a little bit longer depending on what the project is. Weird. Oh, sleeping with a fan on. I love how the form swivels on the stand. I'm telling you, this particular one has upped my game. It really has. It's kind of like when I figured out the serger when it worked. He likes to sew an organized mess. We all know this. I am weird. That is the next name of my punk band. Will be Organized Mess. I'm weird like that. I like my mess to be arranged in a certain way. And plus, I got tired of bumping into stuff, so this is all from experience. And in about 4 months, I'm going to snap and completely rearrange this room. That's why the keyboard just is constantly coming and going out of this room because I can't decide if I love it or hate it. Even Sanford and Son is like, this is too much. Fred in the show, his house is an inspiration of why my house doesn't look like that. And shout out to whatever channel they still show that. And I'm sure they still show it across the country, but we have this weird version of Me TV, and they show Sanford and Son. Or whatever it was called, My TV or one of those. Let me make sure I have a phone. Oh, hold on. Awesome. Make sure I unmuted myself. Okay, perfect. I'm thank you, Joy. I'm a mess, but I like an organized mess as my mic falls. I use that as motivation. This is my daily Fred Sanford talk. I love watching Fred Sanford's sewing machines, but I also use it as a scared straight so that I don't own 7,000 machines until I'm actually in a place that can house 7,000. And I'm not saying he has 7,000, but the guy bought out an old sewing store. And I love it when he talks about it because he's like, I really didn't have that many sewing machines. And then I bought out this sewing store, and then I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. Oh, thank you. Please. Thank you for helping out your dear old dad. Oh, my kid made me mozzarella sticks. Do not come looking in my sewing room when I have been sewing. That is so true, Alibaba. That's all of us. It's a mess. I make a mess, especially during the like cutting phase, when you're cutting fabric. I'm literally letting the fabric fly and it's going on the floor and it's going everywhere in here. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Oh, now I'm craving mozzarella sticks. I'm gonna let those things cool off before I attack them. Aw, he's all considerate. It's because he doesn't want me to eat his turkey legs, but he knows I don't like those things. Man, he's feasting. What time is it? He is feasting right now. Mozzarella sticks and turkey legs. What a combination. All right, let me line this up. Serger threads come over on my floor when sewing in order. You know what? You inspired me though with that idea of getting a bucket instead of that little tray that they have. I'm really gonna modify one of the tables I have when I finally figure out what I did to my serger. Because in this one instance, in this one particular relationship, I know it's me. I know it's me as far as my serger goes. Oh, that kid is so sweet. He made his dad food. I mean, he's also smart too. He knows if I smell it, I'm going to come in there investigating. Little genius. Perfect. I don't know if I love it or hate it when my son has completely figured me out. Perfect. So I have a weird question for the chat. Does anybody like turkey legs? I know I put a freaking pin through my Band-Aid. That's hilarious. Oh, that's hilarious. My son is obsessed with turkey legs. I do not like turkey. My house smells like a Renaissance fair right now. Is anyone a fan of turkey legs? And he's walking around my house like all we need is some poetry in the park, turkey legs. You gotta be pooping. You're gonna be pooping Smurfs all night. I'm a okay. Oh, okay. I need to back up. Get a 5-gallon bucket from Harbor Freight. The chocolate and cheese is gonna mix up well in your stomach with the Powderade. Or you can make a pocket trash pad that goes under the serger to protect threads. Oh, I need a project like that. I've been seeing a lot of stuff like that. Somebody's gonna make Papa Smurf. That is where the dark meat is. Yes, I claim the legs every Thanksgiving. I'm not a fan of turkey leg. I don't know. I think you know what it is too. It's I'm just not a fan of turkey to the point where when my son was, I've told the story a million times. I would stuff a chicken every year and tell him it was a turkey, and he would go to school and be like, "My dad's such a good cook. He made a turkey and everything." And every year it was a chicken because I'm over turkey. And even last year, my mom was like, "You gonna make your famous stuffed chicken?" I was like, "Heck yeah!" So it's a weird family tradition now that I stuff a big chicken instead of a turkey. It's one of those weird things. I just woke up one day and I was over it. I was over turkey. And also because my son eats the same thing over and over and over. Like he destroyed Oreo cookies for me, Cheez-Its. Nutter, what are those? Nutter butters. Because he would Teddy Grahams. He would go through phases where he would just eat it over and over and over, and I would eat them too. I like homemade turkey soup. My father used to make better than the turkey dinner. Oh, try a cap on. What? Oh, I was like, what? That's a giant chicken. It's really funny. I got away with it for years and years until my son got older and he looked at me. He's like, bro, you've been stuffing a chicken this whole time. Like, he was so mad at me when he figured it out. But it's our Thanksgiving tradition. And the chicken cooks way faster than the turkey. And for the record, I have deep fried a turkey and not hurt anybody or blown up anything. So not all Americans blow up their garage. And I know you have to defrost it. Oh, that kid is so sweet. He's probably going to ask me for something. Teddy Grahams are too hard, like chewing on Tums. Do you know what's really funny? I like Tums. I have a Tums problem. Let me click this. Beautiful. Turkey rice. See, you guys are making me hungry now. Like I love turkey soup, turkey rice, all of that. Some people stuff chicken, some people choke that. Dose, you are over here inventing stuff. That's a t-shirt. That needs to be on a t-shirt somewhere. I need to start writing these down, Dose, because the other one I already forgot. Thank you, Joy. I really was. I don't know how this thing has survived me. It's the otter box. I don't know how this thing has survived me. Better watch the Tums. You might get kidney stones eating too much, Tums. No, I don't eat too many, but like I get like acid reflux. I get all that, so I chomp on those things. I don't eat them for sport, but I eat them if I need them. Oh, he made his pops food. What a sweet kid. Didn't even realize it until you said something. It's because of this glorious pillow that I need to restuff. I made this I made a video about making this pillow I think 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm sitting on this glorious pillow and it hides everything. I need to redo that. I definitely need to go back and redo that. He's trying to fatten you up so he gets the house sooner. The only time I'll think he's trying to do that is if he tells me to start smoking again or something. Then I'll be like, oh, you're trying to get the insurance claim, huh? Oh, and he knows he's going to get. I have brothers and sisters, and an army of brothers and sisters. He's the only child. Oh, man, that's hilarious. He is buttering me up. Maybe he's failing a class or something. No, that's impossible by today's standards because these kids can't get away with anything because everything gets emailed to me. He has meetings with his teachers. They email me like basically notes of the meeting. It's so sad. Back in my day, like if you ditched school or something, you just had to get home before the phone call. But now, like you can't even do that. You can't even hide nowadays because we live in the digital world and there's no way you can hide. So these kids are scrutinized in every way you could possibly think of. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. You know, when I stopped drinking alcohol, my taste changed. And this was years ago. I have not had a drink in like over a decade. My whole point is I still eat mozzarella sticks. I still eat potato skins. I still eat all that stuff that they used to sell at DGI Friday. All of it. Those weird salads that are just truly unhealthy for you. I still eat all of that stuff. Is there anything that you partake in? Like, do you eat bar food? Do you, even though, like, I don't know, it's weird. There's a bowling alley by my house. There's a restaurant in the bowling alley. It has been around for over 40 years because they serve just classic sloppy American food. I go there all the time and I haven't been bowling in like since my son was a little guy. It's one of those weird things. Is there anything near you like that? Like where I live, there's bowling alley food. There's all just kind of these really weird spots that have been around because they make amazing food. We also have a lot of hot dog stands around here that have been around for literally 40, 50 years. And for some reason, people love chili everything here in California. Tommy's is thriving. Oh man, it's been a long time since I've taken a real break on stream. I love that. Every small diner and local restaurant around here is famous for something. I love that. That's like the place in Vegas that I go to. They have newspaper clippings for as far back as you can remember from whenever that place opened. You know, when I drove through America, that's the one thing I loved was like the world's biggest ball of yarn, or look at this is the world's first wax museum, or like, you know, I love stuff like that. Every time I drive to Arizona, I stop at the Pee Wee Herman dinosaurs. And for anyone who doesn't know, they're in Cabazon, California. But they're just these very famous dinosaurs, and you can actually go inside of them. They're both gift shops. And they've painted it, but it was pink for a long time, but I don't know if they've repainted it. I absolutely love that stuff. That's like the Euro place that I always go to. Quite honestly, I don't even know if it's that good, but it is just the greatest Euro place to me because it's out in the middle of the desert on the way to Las Vegas. And they somehow have managed to stay open all of these years, and they have to, you know, your food has to be good to stay open, you know. But I love the consistency of that because you really don't get that anymore. Oh man, these mozzarella sticks are amazing. All right. Let me put this down because we're gonna find out if how this creative touch works. I should set up my camera and do a and start filming my Friday sews while I'm sitting here. All right. Let me see what else is in my nose. I went off today. So, is Clear Eyes and Visine, is that just bleach for your eyeballs? Is that just paint for your eyes? And I know I constantly ask this question, but what would you call your style? I'm constantly like, I'm all over the place with my style, but what would you call how you dress? Mine's like hillbilly couture, Val Kilmer chic, Fred Sanford couture. All right, and make sure the thread is fully pulled on this. Perfect. Perfect. Visine is basically saline solution. For some reason, Clear Eyes, it's the strangest thing. Clear Eyes. No, I'm sorry. Visine makes my eyes red, and Clear Eyes works on me. It's the strangest thing. Thrifty. I like that. I'm I call myself the Goodwill gangster or the Goodwill biker. I get a lot of my clothes from thrift stores. Mine is American Graffiti plus hippie. I like that. I like that. I really like that. My style is still so all over the place. I'm constantly, oh, why did I do that? And it's not like I need a label. It's not like it's important to me, but it's one of those weird things where I'm like, I wonder what an outside observer would call my fashion. All right. This is a 1979 Creative Touch. I love that, Kilroy. I love that. I think my fashion is called meh. You know what? I am going to set up my camera real quick because we're going to kill two birds with one stone right now. And everybody acts surprised when you see this in the video. It will take me just a second to set up my camera. Perfect. Right. Oh. Do you know, I absolutely love my new camera. This is the kind of quality that I should have stepped up and had from the beginning. I'm not saying that my other Canon wasn't quality because it was. It was only a camcorder though. This does everything. For once in my life, I had to sit down and read the manual to really look at this thing and see what it does. This is an amazing machine. I'm still kind of shocked that I have such a quality camera. All right. Come on. Oh, there we go. Do you know what's so funny? When I'm sitting here by myself, it takes 2 seconds to set up. When I'm live on YouTube, it's nothing but disaster. Of course, the light's in the way. Perfect. These are all the intricacies that people never talk about online while filming themselves. Okay, perfect. Now I can sew the arms on. That was a lot of work just to see if this sewing machine works. All right. Perfect. We're going to see if 1979 is meeting 2024. All right, we'll figure out. After all of that, it's not plugged in. Oops. This one will definitely be on the blooper reel. Oh. Okay. See, but that's the beautiful thing about editing is that I can act like nothing happened. All right, so we're going to see how this 1979 sewing machine fares. Oh, we have contact. I think whoever owned this machine had cats. Because much like cigarettes, cats have an odor that does not go away ever. Oh, that thing is sewing. That's perfect. This is really anticlimactic because normally I'm like on pins and needles to see if it's working, but this is working perfect. And I think I made it all the way around too. Almost. Oh, perfect. Okay, so that little piece got stuck on the foot, but that's okay. That's what scissors were invented for. Oh, that's perfect. Come on. The foot got stuck, so I took it with me. At least it came off willingly. Perfect. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Perfect is your favorite word, isn't it? Well, it's actually like if I'm saying perfect, it's kind of a Greek tragedy situation because I'm like, oh, that's perfect as it's like literally on fire, just a step away from disaster, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect. I have this real like knee-jerk reaction of laughing in improper situations. And it's not even anything that's practiced, it's something that's natural. It's just a natural reaction. That is my fear response is to laugh. So I have this kind of meh look on at things. Oh, right. You know what? That really. Do you know what? No mistakes. On a full revolution, there was no mistakes. This machine is beautiful. All right. What time is it? Oof. All right. I'm gonna go for a little bit longer, but I'm gonna end this live stream. I did not realize it's been 3 hours. I'm gonna finish this off stream so that I will have a few things for my Friday shows. But it's Monday. Let me check my notes. There's quite a few things I had to say. Most of this was a lot of self-affirmation. Oh, on my other channel, I put a really old singer commercial, and you know what? I'm gonna show it right now because I know there's no copyright on it. Where there we go. Okay. So that didn't work. But on my other channel, I now have. Let's see there it is. It's a really old singer commercial. And we should go out with it. I'll say goodbye and stuff, but I absolutely love this commercial. It's an old school singer commercial. This thing is it's from the distant past. But on my new channel, I only have 2 videos, but I'm revising my blooper channel. I got locked out of my other blooper channel. I still have no idea why. But
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Walter O'Keefe turning the microphone over to the cat. Take it away, Kitty.
I was
Oh,
like,
John, I'm so discouraged. How can I ask anybody
what
to look at the way the
happened?
furniture looks?
Well, it is pretty awful,
There we go.
but I don't suppose we could buy much with our money.
Not unless a miracle happens.
Ah, there's the miracle. Hurry, 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 hurry. Answer that doorbell. That's the first time I ever saw a miracle in a two-pants suit. But it's the Singer Man. He'll send her to the nearest Singer sewing center, and the miracle man turns her over to that miracle woman, the sewing teacher, to you. Just a few simple lessons on the sewing machine, and her house will look so attractive they'll probably sell it at a profit. And why not? It's a cinch and it's a lot of... Now take a look at the finished room with the rest of the girls she's invited over.
Yeah, she just learned how to sew and she redid her entire house.
You don't mean to tell me these draperies, curtains, and slip covers yourself.
How did you ever make them so perfectly? It's a grand color scheme.
They must have cost a pretty penny. Only $18.31. What? Say, I wish I could sew like that. But you can, Martha. What's that? The address of the nearest Singer Sewing Center. Get it?
I love that commercial. He opens up, she's like, our furniture is awful. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't care what era. Ooh, dress form down. Dress form down. I do not care what era you're from. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Just a few simple lessons, Alibaba. Just a few to redo your whole house on a 1950s Singer, Kilroy, and Godzilla finished sewing machine. Back in those days, sewing knowledge was passed down genetically. Oh. I'm constantly testing to see if I can work these commercials into my videos, because I told you there is one person who has this really weird patent on everything. It's the strangest thing. And imagine, like Kilroy said, imagine being an heir to a commercial throne. I'm sure they get money in the residuals. I'm laughing just because I'm petty, but I'm sure they get a lot of money. But it just makes those commercials destroy me. They make me laugh so hard. All right. Well, I am going to go back to the lab. I'm going to clean up in here a little bit. I'm going to finish making my shirt so that I have something to show for my Friday sews. I want to thank everybody who's made it through this live stream. I want to thank everybody who watches this in the replay. To everybody in between, people who are indifferent, I don't care. I thank you. I'll be back at it on Saturday, showing off all the crazy stuff that I've done this week. And yeah. I'll be back at. Thank you so much, Joy, Kilroy, DJ Dose, Alibaba, Rashawn, Mona, anybody else who should have, if I forgot. Anybody else, you are absolutely appreciated. And Jersey, absolutely appreciated. Absolutely. I'll be back at it on Saturday. And like I always say, reinforce your seams, be yourself, and I will definitely see you next time. Bye.